Noel Studer is a YouTube channel that I would have killed for to have access to as a kid. He only has a couple videos so far, but they've been frankly incredible. Now 2 months ago he made this video, which is my favorite of his, Inside the Grandmaster's Thought Process. And he recently uploaded a part 2. When this guy uploads, I usually just grab my pen and pencil, start taking notes, because it's incredibly educational. So I thought what I was gonna do for this video is I'm gonna watch episode 2 of this series. I haven't watched it yet, and I'm gonna do one of the exercises. And hopefully I can demonstrate to you how best to make use of chess videos like this. Or, you know, I do so horribly that I embarrass myself. Let's see.
Welcome to episode 2 of Inside a Grandmaster's Thought Process.
Hell
this
yeah.
is where you can compare your own thinking of a position with the thinking of a Grandmaster.
So this is the chess position. I am gonna quickly set it up. First of all, I'm gonna make sure that the engine is turned off. Ta-da! Now let's see what he has to say.
The key question really is, how does Black prepare against White's pawn storm on the queen side?
That is very surprising to me. If anything from this position, I would more so be concerned about the pawn storm on the king side. Ah, whatever.
I now invite you to stop the video, and you can take up to 5 minutes.
Whoa.
So
Alright, so I think this is like a classical game then, yeah.
come up with a plan, not just a move, but I want to hear a plan. You can put it in the comments down below.
Alright, let's do that. Alright, I've opened up Live Split. This is usually used in speedruns, I'm pretty sure. You probably don't have to go this far. This is more so for the video. But let's see, let's analyze this in 5 minutes. Alright, when I look at this position, my first note is that White definitely has some initiative going on the king side. Black also isn't without plans. We have some initiative going on the queen side. One of the ways you can often know this is based on the pawn structure. We have more space on the queen side. And we have this plan of pushing these pawns, which is called the minority attack. And of course, White has some initiative on the f-file over here. So honestly, in this kind of position, I would let the pawn structure decide the plan. Okay, so what are decent moves? So in the long term... Oh, by the way, I'm not gonna move the pieces. I'm probably not even gonna draw arrows. But for your information, I'm gonna make a magic board in post-editing, so you can follow along. The reason why I do this is because in these kinds of exercises, it's just very useful to also train your visualization skills. Definitely the long-term plan is to start a queenside pawn push, you know, a minority attack. I'm a bit concerned about b5, though. He might have this immediate a4 pawn push. I don't like how that weakens my position. First of all, the b pawn is undefended and the a6 pawn, so we can't even take because too much stuff will be handing. We should definitely try and prepare for that plan. Rook c7 is a move I would love to play over here. Just preparing to double up. Yeah, so rook c7, we're preparing to bring the rook to c8 and we start pushing these pawns. Okay, what do we need to think about? Well, in a position like this, once you've established a candidate move, it's probably pretty good to look at some concrete stuff. So let's say rook c7. Can he push f5? There's some tension. I don't love the prospect of taking. That might weaken my pawns a little bit. So rook c7, pawn f5. What do I do? Yeah, honestly, oh, maybe there is an idea though after takes, because that pawn is hanging. So he can take back with the rook, which defends. Oh, but then we can play g6, can't we? Yes, then the rook has to retreat. Maybe he has some initiative on that file. Yeah, so rook c7 is very normal. If he doesn't do f5 and plays like g4, we can probably double up on the c file. In an event that a queen trade is ever offered, we probably take that because most endgames look very promising for Black. We're gonna get a lot of activity. The kingside pawn storm is mostly useful because we're starting an attack, so the endgame looks promising. Okay, so candidate moves rook c7. Well, if he does nothing and just allows us to double up, then we can start rerouting our knight. That looks pretty good. So rook c7, pawn f5. I don't want to allow that pawn to push through to f6. So I think taking is the best candidate move. How about rook a to e1, just defending the pawn over there? Oh, that looks interesting. So, because I don't love playing rook f to e8. At that point, I'm a little bit unsure about weakening the f7 points. You know what? After a move like rook e1, I'm pretty sure we can get away with playing like g6. So yeah, after rook c7, I'm pretty sure f5 doesn't work. Okay, so other moves. Yeah, and I don't think any other move is that concerning to us. Him doubling on the f-file is possible, but... my 5 minutes are up. Okay, rook c7. Alright, that went by super quickly. Well, that was my analysis. Let's see if it holds up. Okay, so I've left a comment. Let's see how well I did.
So this position is really a bit different to many others that you might see online because it's not very concrete, right? You don't have like a forced line that you should calculate. You might have thought about playing f6. You might have thought about playing g6, rook f8 or rook fd8, rook c7 to double the rooks. You might think about b5, c5.
Please don't tell me this guy had like way more candidate moves than me. I can't think about all of that in 5 minutes. g6 is definitely an idea, but I don't know. Macho chess. Play for your own ideas. Maybe I'm just that wrong. I don't know.
In general, white here wants to play on the king side. So bring the pieces to the king side, where black wants to play on the queen side. Now, to white's idea, it's really all about the move f5. Okay, this is super important. Ideally, push f6 and attack the king. So maybe bring...
Oh yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure I nailed that, right? We're playing on the queen side, they're playing on the king side. I'm gonna count it as a point for me. You might be thinking, why is this guy celebrating so much? That's easy. Celebrate your successes, no matter if it's simple.
The whole position and the evaluation of the position goes around, is white able to play f5 or are they not able to do it? So let's just make an unassuming move, maybe rook to c7. Okay,
yes.
And we have to think about, is f5 actually a move that is happening?
Okay, come on, I deserve that point. Come on.
As a rule of thumb, this is super important. If white is playing f5 and you're not going to respond in any way, right? You're just making something, well, you probably messed up. Okay, so if our response is something like rook c6, then white should be pretty happy.
That is actually very instructive. How I reasoned this out, if I just continue with rook c8, I'm pretty sure my reasoning was that I didn't like f6. So we came to the same conclusion, but he took a very quick mental shortcut. So yeah, that's really nice actually.
So after f5, we want to take. White takes with the rook on f5.
Yeah.
Now black has this very good move g6. We kick the rook out and
yay.
So if we play b5, this is super important. What could white do here? You can stop the video again and think about it if this is something that is unclear for you.
If I hadn't thought about b5 here, I would of course pause the video as well. But I had considered it and I thought a4 was a problem, and I don't think I'm gonna change my mind about that. So I'm just gonna continue.
We are weakening this pawn on a6.
Yeah.
So what white is actually doing is saying, hey, now I attack on the queen side. Now I'm shifting my focus on the queen side because after a trade, for example, trading here, a4, we now have a super...
Let's go. Okay, sorry for doing the annoying YouTuber thing. Being a bit overhyped, but like I said, celebrate your successes.
What actually remains are two moves that for me come to mind here with black. My first instinct, and I have to say that I've played a lot of French positions, so my instincts are very strong in this position, are to play rook f8.
Wow.
Or to play g6.
Darn it. I find it really interesting to see how I'm very much focused on my own plans, playing more macho chess, but I can definitely see how in a quiet position like this, these moves are very strong. They probably should have come to mind. Thank you very much, Mr. Noel, for this video. Now, I'm not going to show you his explanation. I don't want to be the type of commentary YouTuber that steals other people's content. I also skipped over a large part of the video here leading up to this point. So I'm going to tell you, go watch this video. It's amazing. Go subscribe to this guy. It's incredible. And, you know, maybe go subscribe to me too. I try my best to make good videos too. And then I see you beautiful chess people in the next video. Bye bye.